Yo, this is Noah Cuz. I'm back on the Splitmind channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make samples for PYREX WHIPPA from scratch. I just cooked the sample up. It sounds super dark and super vintage, and it definitely sounds like something that he would use. So I'm going to break it down for you. Pretty much all of these sounds are in my new antimatter analog lab bank. The last one was a hit, so I figured I'd try to make this one even more fire. You can get the kit from the first link in the description. Also, make sure you watch all the way through this video because somewhere in the middle I'm going to hide a coupon code where you can get $10 off. The code is only good for the first 10 people, so make sure you use it quick. So yeah, I'm just going to play the sample that I'm going to be breaking down. Alright, so to start this sample, I set the BPM to 119. So the first sound that I use is this preset from my bank, and this is what it sounds like. So for this melody, I just have a C minor chord, and then right here, I took the minor third and I brought it down one semitone to make that a minor second, just to give it that dark feel. And then you can see up here, I just kind of added the same notes in the scale, just to give it a cool rhythm and bounce. You can see that I used a lot of half steps to give it that dark feel, and half steps are notes that are just right next to each other in the scale. So for effects, I added this halftime at 10%. Next, I added this bandpass narrow, cutting out the lows and the highs. After that, I added soothe 2, just taming some of the resonance a little bit. And then finally, I added this default sketch cassette, and I edited some of these settings. And then on all of the sounds besides the bass, I took some lows out on the channel EQ. So this is the next sound that I used, also from my analog lab bank, and this is what it sounds like. I just copy and pasted the MIDI over for this sound, and for effects, I added another halftime, this time at 28% mix. Next, I added this bandpass narrow, cutting out the lows and the highs again, and just leaving a little bit of the mids. And then finally, I added this reverb intensity. I brought the size down some, and then I changed the dry and wet knob. This is the third sound that I used. It's also from my bank, and this is the MIDI for it. Also, when I made all of these melodies, I did Alt-R to randomize the velocities, just to make them sound more realistic. So with this one, I kept doing the same thing. I added a C minor chord, and then I added this minor second, just to give it that darker feel. You can also see that I occasionally added a fourth in the melody. So for effects on this one, another bandpass narrow, cutting out a lot of the lows and the highs, and then leaving like these upper mids. And then after that, I went straight into the shaper box, panning it left and right on a 4-bar loop. So the next sound that I added is this harp from Contact, and this is the MIDI for it. You can see I added a lot of effects. Dry, it sounds like this. So for this effects chain, I added this halftime with a 26% mix. Next, I added this EQ. After that, I went into this compressor, and then I went into this default sketch cassette and then changed some of these settings again. After that, I went into Portal with this preset from Stephen & Pilgrim's Portal Bank into this reverb intensity, and I brought the size down some. Next, I used this Echo Boy to give it some delay. Next, I used Goodhertz Low High just to cut out some of the high frequencies above 6K. And then I added this mid-side matrix just to make it more stereo. And then finally into this shaper box with a left and right pan on 52% mix. Alright, so this last sound is just a synth bass. It's from my kit, and this is what it sounds like. Alright, so if you want to get the kit with a little bit of a discount, you can use the code that's on the screen right now. You can get the kit from the first link in the description. Make sure you use the code QUICK though, because it's only available for the first 10 people that use it. For effects on this one, I kept it pretty simple. I added this compressor, and then this EQ, cutting out a lot of the highs and mids. Then you can see I just boosted the lows a little bit on this channel EQ. So after I had all of those sounds laid out, I added these textures. I wanted them hitting opposite of the harp. So this is what the first one sounds like. And this is the second. After that, I wanted to add a little bit more rhythm, so I chopped up this perk loop and then added this automation clip, and this is what that part sounds like. With that playing in the background of the whole sample, it gives it a lot of movement. For effects on the texture, I just added this reverb intensity into this bandpass narrow EQ. And then on the perk loop, I also added a bandpass narrow EQ. So I rendered out all of the sounds individually and then chopped them up. You can see the first chop that I made was on this main sound, and I just reversed the last bar. This is what it sounds like. And this automation clip is just that way it doesn't click. So the next two sounds I chopped up together, and basically I just kind of reversed it wherever I felt like it needed to be reversed. The first section that I reversed was right here, and basically I chopped up the section and then I right clicked, make unique as sample. Once I had it unique, I reversed it and then brought the in knob up some, and this is what it sounds like. And then after that, I added these chops in the last bar, and you can see that they're not exactly on time with each other. I tried to make them a little bit random to make it sound more unique. But yeah, this is what the two pads sound like playing together. So yeah, that's super hard. So for structuring wise, I basically just have the synth bass playing in the first 8 bars, and then from there I just took sounds out as I went, and then at the end you can see I structured the entire loop out. Once I had everything laid out how I wanted it, I bounced it out into one audio file, and then I added these master effects. So for master effects, I added Soothe 2 just to get rid of some of the resonance. Next I went into this sound shifter and I just pitched it down 1 semitone. I added this pretty drastic EQ, but I just wanted to accentuate the highs some. Next I went into this default sketch cassette, but I edited some of these settings like the age and this bright amount down here. Next I added this mid-side matrix, just bringing up the sides some. Next I added this wow control, giving it some detune and bringing the analog noise gain down. Next I added good hertz lossy, cutting out everything above 10k hertz and below 30 hertz. And then finally I added this limiter, just making it more loud. There's one final test to see if this is a PYREX loop. I just threw some drums together and let's see how it sounds with the sample. Alright, that's super fire. Obviously the mix isn't great, but you can tell it has that PYREX bounce. By the way, all those drum sounds are in my drum kit, Noah Cuz Essentials Volume 1. You can get it, drumify.com. But yeah, that's the whole loop. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I could definitely hear PYREX or Southside using the sample. So like I said earlier, if you guys want the sounds that I used in this, make sure you go cop my new Antimatter Analog Lab Bank. It's going to be available from the first link in the description. Also, run this video back if you missed the code. I don't know how you did, but the code's somewhere in there. You can get $10 off. It's available for the first 10 people that use it, so go use it quick. Go follow me on Instagram at Noah Cuz. Subscribe to the Splitmind channel, and leave in the comments some video ideas for what you want to see next. But yeah, that's everything. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm out. Peace.